spend the loans that they get from the World Bank and the IMF. They tell you who to spend the money with. They tell you what corporation's going to come and do the work. They tell you who you can't spend the money with. And check this out, brothers and sisters. Most of the time, the loan money that Africa gets, it never even goes to Africa. It gets sent to the corporations that the white power structure chooses to come into your country and build your hospital, build your roads, clean your water, build your schools. They're not even allowed to use the money how they want to use it. The white man gives the money to white corporations from America and Europe, and they go into Africa, getting paid by their government, and you gotta pay the bill. Look at that. Look at that. And the third handicap of taking money from the white man is that he forces you to operate an open market economy in Africa. You know what that means? If I'm in Senegal and we have our own salt, I don't want nobody coming into Senegal to sell no salt because we got our own. So we're going to nationalize salt in Senegal. If I'm in Ghana and we got cacao, I'm going to nationalize cacao, and I don't want no country bringing cacao into my country. If I'm Benin and we got palm oil, I'm going to nationalize the palm oil, and I don't want no outside companies selling palm oil, so I can do what? Build my economy and provide jobs to my people. But the white man says you can't do that. The white man says you can't nationalize. The white man says you cannot protect your indigenous economy. You want to know why African countries that have their own salt is importing salt? You want to know why African countries who have their own poultry are importing chickens? You know why African countries that have their own iron are importing iron ore? It's because the white man sabotages the natural markets of that country, so Africa can always be dependent on the white man. Right now, Sub-Saharan Africa owes the white man over $42 billion. $42 billion. Somebody help me understand how you enslaved my people, robbed my resources for over a century, and I owe you $42 billion. We need the African Union to unite and to organize. And we need the African Union to tell the white man in one voice, all 54, all 55 countries, in one voice, tell the white man, we will not pay and you cannot stay. Say it with me. We will not pay and you cannot stay. We will not pay, you cannot stay. We will not pay, you cannot stay. As I begin to wrap up, the Right Excellent, Most Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, the greatest Pan-Africanist of all time, the father of modern Pan-Africanism, who walked the streets of Harlem, New York, 100 years ago. Marcus Garvey's vision was not an organization of African unity. His vision was not an African union. The vision of the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey and the vision of one of his greatest students, Osajafo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the vision was for a United States of Africa. Listen to me, brothers and sisters. The African Union, to some degree, is a political joke. And I'm saying that with respect. And the reason I'm saying the African Union, to some degree, is a political joke is because the decisions that are made by the African Union are not binding on the member states. Let me say it again. The decisions made by the African Union are not binding on the member states. So nobody has to listen, agree to, or follow the decisions of the AU. We need a continental government where the decisions are binding. We need a United States of Africa. One military, one economy, one education, one government. Brothers and sisters, one-third, and I'm wrapping up. Oh, good? Okay. Pay attention to the video camera behind you, brothers and sisters. The hard work that Captain Ibrahim Traore is doing in Africa. Give him a hand, brothers and sisters. We stand with Burkina Faso. We stand with Mali. We stand with Niger. We stand with Senegal. We stand with all the independent African countries. Yes, indeed. Forward ever, backward never, brothers and sisters. 1/3 of all African nations are small nations, geographically speaking. The white man set it up this way before he left. The reason the white man balkanized Africa into a whole bunch of small countries is to make sure no country could ever become militaristically strong enough, politically strong enough, or economically strong enough to throw off the chains of neocolonialism. Togo can't take on the World Bank alone. Benin can't take on the World Bank alone. Lesotho can't take on the World Bank alone. Eritrea can't take on the World Bank alone. They have to organize. They have to mobilize. So what can we do in the United States? First of all, let me say this. When I look out here, I see Brooklyn Africans right next to Nigerian Africans. I see Harlem Africans right next to Ghanaian Africans. I see Long Island Africans right next to Congolese Africans. And we got the same color. We got the same hair. We got the same nose. We got the same lips. Don't you let nobody tear African people apart. United we stand, divided we fall. We are one people. You may have your own religion, but your religion does not precede our race. You may have your own flag, but your flag does not take precedent over the race. You might speak your own language, but your language does not take precedent over the race. You may have your own culture, your own customs, your own way of doing things, but that is for your kingdom. Your kingdom is a part of Africa. Your kingdom is not greater than Africa. One African people. Yes. Brothers and sisters, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah said, the only way for an independent African nation to show what they can do is to be an independent African nation. The reason the white man don't want to get out of Africa because Africa is so minerally rich and Africa is so minerally strong that if we put the white man out of Africa, there would be no more atomic bombs. If we put him out of Africa, there would be no more Mercedes-Benz. If we put him out of Africa, there will be no more iPhone and Google phone and air helicopter, airplane. Do you realize that the purest uranium in the world is on the continent The purest lithium in the world is on the continent. The purest cobalt in the world is on the continent. The purest coltan in the world is in Africa. And if you ain't got no uranium, if you ain't got no lithium, if you ain't got no coltan, if you ain't got no cobalt, you ain't got no damn Bill Gates or Elon Musk. Black power, brothers and sisters. Black power, brothers and sisters. This is what we must do in the diaspora to support Captain Ibrahim Traore. This is what we must do in the diaspora to support General Chiani and General Goita. We have to organize our finances. The diaspora can be Africa's secret weapon. The diaspora can be Africa's weapon of mass destruction. In America, we are $2 trillion alone. That don't include our brothers and sisters in Canada. That don't include our Latino Africans in Central and South America. That don't include our Jamaican and Haitian and Bayesian, St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. Lucia, St. Kitts, St. Martin. It don't even include our Caribbean African family. It doesn't include our Australian African family. It doesn't include our French and British and Scottish and Irish and Dutch and Belgian African family. If we organize the money in the diaspora, no African country would ever need to take out another loan again. Brothers and sisters, we can be the African diasporan bank for continental independence. We are not on the outside looking in. We're on the outside waiting to get in. And for those of you who are not Pan-Africanists, who still think that being a tribalist is better than being a Pan-Africanist, I got some homework for you. There was a national security memorandum released by the United States State Department. I think it was memorandum number 42. Don't quote me. But this memorandum that came from the CIA and the National Security Agency and the State Department, this was in the 1980s, brothers and sisters. And what they said, the greatest threat to American foreign interests, the greatest threat to white world supremacy was for Africans in Africa to organize with Africans in America. They said if you let Black Africa and Black America unite hands across the Atlantic, it would destroy the global white power structure, brothers and sisters. We are the solution. And for those of us who are the children of the transatlantic slave trade, for those of us whose ancestors was put on the bottom of ships, for those of us whose mothers was raped and fathers was castrated, for those of us whose ancestors was taken from our ancestral home. Your ancestors sent Dr. Umar here today to let you know you are just as African as any other African, and don't you let nobody tell you who you are. Africa for the Africans, those at home and those abroad. I want to close with this. Brothers and sisters, the Honorable Marcus Garvey said, the greatest weapon used against the Negro is disorganization. The Right Excellent Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey said, if the black man and woman are not careful, you will drink in all the poison of Western civilization and you will die from it. Marcus Garvey said, the greatest weapon ever used against us was disorganization. Marcus Garvey was asked, are you an African or are you a Jamaican? Are you an African or are you a Jamaican? And the greatest prophet of Pan-Africanism looked up and said, you asked me, am I African or am I Jamaican? And I tell you, I would never, ever give up a continent for an island. I am an African, brothers and sisters. If we as African people, I'm speaking about the whole family, because as a Pan-Africanist, I speak for the whole family. From Alabama to Angola, from Johannesburg to New Jersey, I speak for the whole family. From Barbados to Brooklyn, I speak for the whole family. If we don't survive the 21st century, African people may become a permanent underclass globally. But you are not going to let that happen. And I am not going to let that happen. And Captain Ibrahim is not going to let that happen. And General Goita is not going to let that happen. And General Chiani is not going to let that happen. Nigeria is not going to let that happen. Jamaica is not going to let that happen. Panama is not going to let that happen. Costa Rica is not going to let that happen. Australian Africans is not going to let that happen. Marcus Garvey said, if we could only get to know ourselves today, we would have a new reality tomorrow. Can Africa survive the white man? That ain't the question. She already has. The question is, can the white man survive without the black man? No. Brothers and sisters, although white supremacy has been our #1 problem, let us not forget about the Chinese invasion. Let us not forget that the Chinese are making inroads all over Africa, all over the Caribbean. I am so hurt. I am so disappointed. I am so despondent that after all the blood Africa shed to get free, all the blood the Caribbean islands shed for independence, we tell the white man to get out and we roll out a red carpet for the yellow man to come in. We're going to have to fight a second independence war to get the Chinese out of Africa, because we did not learn our lesson from history. Brothers and sisters, we don't need any friends. Brothers and sisters, we don't have any friends. Nobody cares about African people except to use you, exploit you, manipulate you, opportunize against you. I'm not telling you to hate red. I'm not telling you to hate white. I'm not telling you to hate brown. I'm not telling you to hate yellow. I'm telling you to understand that when we were enslaved and when we were colonized, none of those countries came to our aid. They were there to exploit just like the next one. We don't have no friends. We don't need no friends. Dr. John Henry Clark, that great Pan-Africanist, said, it amazes me how there's over 1 billion Africans in the world and we are always looking for somebody else to save us. I close with a quote from our ancestor Frederick Douglass. And before I close, I'm going to give you my cell number, so if you need to reach Dr. Umar, you can reach. I will be in the Democratic Republic of the Congo to celebrate the 100th Earth Day, the centennial of Prime Minister Patrice Lumumba, brothers and sisters. I will be in South Africa with my Ethiopian World Federation brothers and sisters, standing in solidarity with our Zulu Africans and our Xhosa Africans and our Swazi Africans and our Khoi Africans. For those of y'all who don't know, the Ethiopian World Federation was founded here in New York. When Mussolini invaded Ethiopia, black men and women from America said, "Give me a rifle and let me go to Africa and fight to keep Ethiopia free." They went to the government and said, "Send me home to defend the only country that had never been colonized." And the government said, "Hell no." And so the Ethiopian World Federation was founded to support not only Ethiopia, but the entire continent with the blood, sweat, and dollars of the diasporan African. We have always been involved in Africa, brothers and sisters. My number is 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. Once more for the elders, 215-989-9858. My Kenyan Africans, I will be with you in January for the Traverse Conference in Kenya. Looking forward to going back to Kenya. I want to say this. My black parents in the Americas, stop putting our children in special education. Stop putting our children on psychiatric medication. I am a certified school psychologist by profession. Black children in Harlem don't have learning disabilities. Black children in Brooklyn don't have emotional disturbances. Black children in Queens are not intellectually disabled. Black children in Staten Island don't have ADHD. Stop letting New York City public schools exploit your children for money. They get money when we evaluate and label your child. They get paid for miseducating your child. Your baby don't need an IEP. All they need this summer is a tutor, brothers and sisters. And I better not catch none of my New York City children playing basketball when they can't read on grade level this summer. I better not catch none of my New York City children playing football when they can't count on grade level. I better not catch none of my New York City children pursuing careers in art and entertainment when they can't even complete their academics on state required grade level. We got to stop glorifying mediocrity. We need a revolution in black excellence. If he don't get it right, make him do it over. If she don't get it right, make her do it over. Black men and black women, stay off the internet fighting each other. Black men and black women have no business tearing each other down for the pleasure of the white man. What is wrong with you? Black men, we're the only men who will get on YouTube and slander our women. Black women, you're the only women who will get on YouTube and slander your man. Divide and conquer, separate and rule. We stand together or we don't stand. Frederick Douglass said, if there is no struggle, there is no progress. My family came to America from Africa, 1701. Black man named Bailey, taken to Talbot County, Maryland. He married a black woman named Selah, for whom my daughter is named. 1745, they had Grandma Jenny. 1774, they had Grandma Betsy. Grandma Betsy married a free black man, Grandpa Isaac. They had 12 children. One daughter was named Harriet, another daughter was named Young Betsy, my 5 times great grandmother. These 2 black women, these 2 sisters, were raped by the slave master who owned our family. As a result of that rape, in 1818, Aunt Harriet gave birth to the greatest black leader to ever walk American soil. His name was Frederick